hit it on mine.
Mine's a little.
It is.
Mine's a little slow, I think. Hey, everybody. Okay, we're good. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our community session. Hey.
Wow.
You good?
Yeah, I just acted as if I didn't connect the.
Oh, it's okay. It's sometimes you have to redo it.
All right.
Yeah. Hey.
All right. Hi.
Hey, everyone. So, welcome to our community session. Welcome to our community. Wait a minute. What is going on here? But welcome to our community session for the Black Girl Health Collective. We are here today with Melissa T. Hey, Melissa.
How are you doing?
Melissa is an entrepreneur. She is a mom. She is a marathon runner, and she also is
Almost. I'm a half marathoner.
But you're a runner, and
Yes.
you also are an MS advocate.
Yes.
So we are so excited to have you join us tonight. I know it's been a long time coming because we've been talking about doing a live and having a conversation, like a really transparent conversation about MS and all the things.
Yes.
And I know it's been hard to like pin you down because you are doing so much. Not only are you like a mom, an entrepreneur, you're a creative, and you got your hand and eye on so many different places. So I'm so happy that we can make the time to have you join us tonight. I think your perspective, one, you're an amazing person and all the things. And I think your story and your thoughts are things that are things that will resonate with like our community. So that was just a little bit of my little introduction of Melissa. She is like I said, as a creative, she is a nail tech. She owns Nailworks by MKMB. Is that right? Did I get it right?
Now, my personal Instagram is Nailworks by MKMB, but I opened theWorks Nail Studio. Yes.
Okay. And you've been doing nails now for how long?
I was licensed in 2014.
Really?
So, yeah. Or 2015. I started in 2014 and I officially got my license in 2015. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think because I'm like, I absolutely used to
be sitting in my chair.
I know, like back in the day, I absolutely
a regular polish. Doing all the designs on every single nail. I feel like you were the original theWorks client.
Yeah, no,
I feel like I still have a picture of like a troll on your nails.
Oh, you did do a troll on my nails one time. It was a big deal. And like I thought it was so dope. And it's so like you know how you see stories about people saying that they are like artists and how like they've evolved over time, like in their craft and stuff. And you're like, you're not just born with that talent. Like that is so true that like artists evolve, like your talent and like your skills have evolved over time, just as a nail tech, but like as an artist. And it's really dope to see. Like you've done so much. I remember you did you do like Martin nails for someone?
I did. Well, I think I just did them on like separate nails for that. Like,
got you.
The idea to have it. It was really cool. I think I got the inspiration from someone I follow on Instagram, and I think her name is like Cashmere. And she does like it was her original artwork, but I always thought it was the coolest thing. Like she sold them as like photos, like probably like a not a 5, like a not 8 by 10, and she sold them, and you can get them all and frame them all. And I always thought that was so dope, and I was like, what would that look like on some nails? So that was really cool too. But yeah, so I think it was 2014. I got licensed in 2014. So last year was 10 years. This year will be 11. But I started with my apprenticeship. I did an apprenticeship at Glamour Nails, and I was able to, just watch.
I mean, like, you were like one of the first Black nail girlies out here. Like,
it was new. It was new. I didn't even think it was like a thing. My friend had told me about it because she knew about it, and I was like, you think they would let me? And they did. They let me in there. It wasn't always very inviting. It wasn't always the nicest environment to go to, but they signed my papers, and I'm forever grateful for that. At least from there, I tried, a spa. I tried another salon, and then eventually ended up here. And it was just like people were coming in and letting me practice. They were obviously they were giving me like $15 and sitting in my chair for like 4 hours because it took forever. But without that, where would I be now? Like that, like it was literally, I feel like that was really pivotal to my
like your journey.
Yeah, like I really I needed those people that would just come and sit and it was really dope.
I totally remember the journey, and it's so great to see where you are now. And so, like, we'll be getting into a bunch, and just to give you kind of like a holistic overview of like Melissa and like what she focuses on as nails and her career and things like that. But another piece or key piece of her identity is that she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and she is an MS advocate. And so one of the things that we'll be talking about, and I want to make sure that I bring up, is that MS is very prevalent in Black women in our community, but it also is often underdiagnosed. And so Melissa will kind of be sharing a little bit about her personal experience, and we'll have conversations. Feel free to reach out and ask questions and engage. Again, this is a community session. This is like, let's chat. And so I guess we'll get into it. All right. So tell me a little bit, Melissa, about what led to your diagnosis and symptoms. Like, what came up? Can you hear me? Hold on. I think we might have just lost you. Just a second.
Okay.
Hey, okay, you're back.
I hear you again.
Sorry. So what I was saying was, so tell us a little bit about what led to your diagnosis. I just set the tone of basically saying that, MS is very prevalent in Black women, but it's often underdiagnosed. So I was wondering if you might share a little bit about your experience and what led up to it.
It was 2020. It was 2020. And, they told me not to work. Service providers were not considered essential. Don't work. So you're sitting home for, it was like 2 months, not supposed to work. And so once I started back working in around like June, I felt like numbness and tingling in my legs. So I was like, this is weird. I took like 2 days off. I was like, maybe I just need to get active. I think I'm not moving enough. I'm not doing enough. I just need to get active. And then one day I was walking through Sam's, and I genuinely felt like I could just fall. Like they just felt so weak, and I couldn't figure out why. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the walk-in. So I went, and off.
Do we drop again? Let's see. All All right, I think we lost Melissa for a second. Hey.
So when, can you not see me when that happens?
No, I can see you. It just froze for a second.
So. Okay. I was like, I don't know. It says, like, all the bars. But yeah, so
you're walking through. Last thing I heard was that you were walking through Sam's Club and you felt like you were
I felt like I could fall out, and went to the walk-in, and the doctor that came into the room, we talked about it. I went over how I was feeling, and she was like, "Oh, anxiety," and she was like, "It's 2020. It was a lot of the protests. It was a lot of stuff
anxiety."
a lot of stuff going on. She said I had a lot of people coming in feeling the same way. She was like, I think that it's anxiety. She prescribed anxiety medicines, and that was like, here you go. And I didn't take it, and I was just like, that's it for real. But eventually it went away. So I moved on, and then August of 2020, I had issues like blurriness with my right eye, and I couldn't figure out why. 1 second. Go ask Adrian for marshmallows. Go. Marshmallows? Go ask Adrian. He'll give it to you. Yeah. But so I 2020, I couldn't see out of my right eye, and I couldn't figure out why. I went to the eye doctor, like, did I scratch it, taking my contact out? And he was like, no, I don't see anything wrong with your eye. So, he sent me to the neurologist, and from there we did a couple of tests, like looking at, I forget what the test was actually called, but it was looking at the screen, and then it was the MRI. And after the MRI, the doctor came back and was like, he was like, yeah, it's what I thought it was. You have MS. And it was just like, that's how you tell somebody? Like, what do you mean you have MS? Like, you didn't even say the real word, sir. I was so like, I don't know. It was just like a crazy way to hear it. And then he's like, do you have any questions? Like, I have all the questions, obviously. Like, what do you mean? Like, and it's just like, okay. Like, so I asked my questions, but it's just like, why? I don't know why he wasn't more, I guess, open and ready to just explain more, like, off rip. And it was just like, dang, this is crazy. Like, I remember going to, like, I think I went to the grocery store right after, and it was just like dang, like, I'm sitting here just hearing this news, and it's just like, it was like really like just eye-opening to see, like, everybody's just living their life. Like, stuff really just happens to you, and but you don't even know you were having to deal with. And it was just like, nobody knows and nobody cares. Like, you got to figure it out for yourself. And it was just like, dang. And it was like, okay.
And the kids are still hungry, and they're still asking for snacks, and you still got to change diapers, and you still have to make dinner. And then you also have to feed yourself.
Clients 9 o'clock in the morning next day.
And then you're like, wait, is it okay to eat this? Or should I drink that? Or should I just change my entire life?
Right.
Is it like, I think sometimes, like, what we don't talk about is when you have things going on in your body where you feel like you are, like, you can't even, I don't want to say trust your body, but where something kind of shakes what you think, that like you go through a period of like being terrified of everything.
Yeah. And
you're like, okay, I'm never drinking a ginger ale again. Or actually, no, I'm not ever going to eat anything processed ever again. Or like throw out all of this stuff, or I'm scared of going out in, I don't know, in this space, or drinking alcohol or anything. It's like it's a weird space to be in.
It really is. It like, and then just like, what was it? I think my eye relapse, like that flare up, lasted probably like 2.5 weeks, and then it was just like, I felt like I was okay. Like, I had a patch. My son was calling me a pirate. Like, it was just like, to cover it up. It would give me a headache because I would have to like try to focus it, and it wouldn't focus. And I didn't realize.
The TV.
Okay, go ahead. And I didn't realize that how bad my vision was until my clients started to come back and their nails were messed up. And I was like, dang, y'all, I couldn't see. I was trying to do your nails and could not see. So from there, like with the neurologist, like we had other appointments. We had another MRI to try to make it was like, I wanted to see like for real, like you see the lesions, like what if we did it again? Are you going to see the lesions on my brain even more? Like, how is it going to work? And he was just very blunt. It was a neurologist in Dover. He was very blunt. He was very like, it just was not warm whatsoever.
I have an idea of like,
yeah,
but
I'm sure you did.
Idea, but yeah,
it was rough. But that was like, I found out, I want to say around October, and then I was supposed to get on a medicine, but I kind of was still in a phase of like, I have to take this medicine for the rest of my life. Like, this is where I'm at with it right now. Like, I have this autoimmune disease that now I'm going to have to treat forever, like, and hope that I can live my regular life. Like, it was just like really like, I don't know. I was still, I guess, I didn't want to accept it maybe. And so that was October, November. I got pregnant and I found I was pregnant January 1st. You can't take the MS medicine pregnant. Anyways, you can't take the MS medicine pregnant anyways. So it was, nothing. Right? So so all pregnancy, they say that while you're pregnant, you don't get as many flare-ups. And at that, when I heard that, I was like, well, I'm gonna stay pregnant forever. Like, let's keep doing it. Like, if I could not go through this, but it was like the very beginning of my pregnancy was rough as far as like, the flare-ups were, I wasn't going to the stores. I was Instacarting groceries. I was getting whatever I could deliver because I worked in the house anyways. So to just not leave as much as possible in January was everything to me. And it was really rough. But for the majority of that pregnancy, the MS really didn't affect me much, besides the tingling and the pins and needles in your hands and in your feet. And it wasn't, it started feeling regular. You know what I mean? Like eventually towards the end of the pregnancy, I just kind of got used to it. And it just felt like, not the worst flare up that I could be dealing with. So I'm just going to deal with it. It's fine. Until the very end of my pregnancy. And I think Drew was 40 weeks. I was like 40 weeks one day overdue, and I was miserable. And I'm very much the natural girly. Like, I didn't want any medicine. I didn't want to be induced. I didn't want to be anything. Like, if I could have, I would have had her at home. But I was, scared because the MS part of everything. So I was like, I'll do the hospital, but I don't want anything. But towards that last day or the day before last, I lost strength in like my arm. I couldn't unhook my bra. I couldn't hold a pen. I was limping. I had a limp. I always joke and say that like the doctors probably thought that Dakeem was abusive because they would go to hand me a pen and he would grab it. And it's like, they probably thought he was trying to like do it for me and take over. But it was like, they didn't know what we were going through. So it was like, dang. But right after I had her, it was just like, I'm sure the hormones with the pregnancy and plus the flare-ups from MS, it was like I feel like that was the most flare-ups that I've had overall. I had a phase of ringing in my ears. It felt like a fire alarm, and it was loud, and it was the end of 2021, so a lot of people were still wearing masks. And so you're at the grocery store and cashiers talking to you, and it's like you kind of didn't hear them, and you also can't see their lips to even try to guess what they're saying, and you're like, huh, like, and I don't know, it was just a weird feeling, like, I don't know, to be in that position. It was just like new. It was new. It was weird. I had a like off balance moment to where it was like, I don't know if it was like kind of vertigo, but I couldn't walk in a straight line. I told the doctor, the same one that diagnosed me, at one of our doctor's appointments, and he was like, okay, here, try to show me, walk across the room. And I'm like, I can't. And he was like, well, just do it right there. And I got up and I did it. And it's like 4 steps. He was like, okay, you can sit down. Like, very dismissive, very just embarrassing almost. Like, why do you have me do it? I told you I couldn't do it. Like, that, it just felt crazy. But right after I had her, like I said, I'm natural. I wanted to be able to breastfeed her. I breastfed my son for 2.5 years. I wanted to be able to do her, but it was like, oh, you need to get back on your medicine now. And so it was like a battle for a little bit of like, I want to give her breast milk, but she also needs a mom that can function. And if I can't function, if this medicine is going to help me function, like, I need to pick the smarter move, like longevity. They need a mom. Like, they need the mom that's going to be able to be there. And that's who I wanted to be. So I was trying to, I was buying the bottles, trying to learn the different formula stuff. They didn't know anything about the formula. And buying stuff. She didn't take a bottle for 12 weeks. And I swear she did that like for me and her. Like, she like, I got a lot out of it. We were able to at least build that connection. And once she did take that bottle, it was like, okay, like, I got all my medicine. I talked to the neurologist, and I was taking Tecfidera. Tecfidera is a pill that you take twice a day, every single day. It is, it's like, I want to say, like, I forget what they call it, but like, you have to take it twice a day because it doesn't last long in your system. So when, like, if I were to like miss a pill on like a random, busy, you have the kids, I had the salon, I had other stuff going on. So I might miss the pill for the day, but then it was like, oh, I take it later on that night when I get home, and now it's like flushing. That was one of the side effects. And now I'm red all over, and I'm warm, and it's spotty, and people notice, and they're like, oh, are you okay? Like, do you need XYZ? And I'm like, it's okay. Like, it was just my body getting back introduced to the pill. But by like that next MRI, it was not showing progress. So at that point, I was like, I'm not going back to that man. I'm not going back to that man. And I looked
up. Really? Okay.
Yeah, I looked up and found out he's in Wilmington, and he kind of specializes in MS. He's a lot of MS patients, and he's amazing. Like, my first visit with him, I'm crying in his office and he's hugging me. Like, it was like a really like nice feeling, like, just, I don't know, feeling heard and seen. And I don't know, like, even if the other doctor just acted as if he cared a little bit, I feel like it could have just finding it all out. It could have made the whole
Did you feel like he didn't even listen to you anyway? Like, it was like very.
It wasn't even that he didn't listen. Well, yeah, he didn't listen, but on top of that, he was not. He just wasn't nice. Like, you're a provider. Why don't you want to be nice to your client, your patients? I don't know. It just, I'm very happy where I am now. And after talking to him, and we were going over Tecfidera, we decided to make the switch to Ocrevus. And Ocrevus,
list up that, like, the way that you're talking about your current provider, versus your older provider, you originally said that he like decided that I should take, and like with this provider is like your whole, the way you're talking about it is different. Like we talked about it and we decided to try. So like
It
even
felt like I had a choice. It felt like I had options. Like he made sure I knew I had options. He asked me he asked me which one I preferred out of the choices that he provided for me. And he didn't he asked me which one I preferred out of what he provided, and it was just like, I looked it up and I gave it some thought, but at the end of the day, I was just like, what do you think I would do? Like at that point, like I trust you. Like you do this all the time, and the way you do it seems efficient. Like you tell me what you think is best. So he said Ocrevus would probably be the best, and so I was like, let's do it. Like I went with that, and now Ocrevus is twice a year, and it's an infusion. So you're sitting in the office with the IV, and you're in there for at max 4 hours, which felt kind of crazy at first, but now it's like, a 4-hour nap, honestly. Like I've heard of people like that have reactions from it and things like that. And thank God, like luckily that has not happened to me. They give you that IV Benadryl and I'm out. And even after the Ocrevus, I don't feel tired. I don't feel like I feel like I could work a whole day afterwards, honestly. Like it's I prefer it. I love the fact that it's twice a year and I don't have to take the pill every single day, twice a day. Like I went and got one of those pill containers, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because I'm like, all right, I got to get on my stuff. Like I have to take this pill if I want to feel better, because there's no cure. It's not like there's a cure. There's not like
right now there's no cure
at the moment.
But
according to my MRIs, wasn't slowing down the progression. It wasn't helping. And so now taking Ocrevus, every MRI I've had, which has been 2 that I've had after taking Ocrevus, they haven't seen progression. So, it's amazing. And it's helping. And, even if this comes to a point that it's not helping, where MS is now, there are so many other options. So it's still not the last resort. You don't have to stop. It doesn't have to be just this. There's a lot of different things that can be tried, that you can do, that you can be put on, So it's nice to know that as well. And that was what Dr. Silverstein told me. That wasn't how introduced to me in the beginning at all.
So like I love it, we're kind of like going full circle of hearing like your journey into like where you are now, and I think your story is so important. Like I think sometimes we get a lot caught up in silos, and we don't like have spaces to even talk about the experience that you had with the original provider, about how you didn't feel listened to. And it's such a, like other people I know for sure had that same experience. Actually, we're getting we've gotten a response in the chat that someone else felt the same exact way about that provider and the provider in Dover, because there are very limited providers in Dover.
Yes.
But I wanted to transition and shift a little bit to talk about, like what has, like with MS, and what are the kind of shifts that you've made since your diagnosis? Now, I know we were always like the off and on kind of like health girlies of like, am I going to be vegan, or I'm going to try like juicing, or like, so what are some of the things that you've like kind of entered or brought into your life since the diagnosis, or things that you shifted, or what works for you? What have you found works for you? Hey, movie star.
I definitely started, say hi.
Hi.
All right, you want to go back in there with Adrian? Take this. Hi. Take that. But so I definitely did. I tried to, like you said, you try it all. So at one point I was like, I'm just going to go to the gym. And then you're going to the gym, and then it's like, oh, I found a different gym. So I'm like, oh, I like their program. It's helping. I like it. I feel active. I'm getting more fit. And I know, that's just in general, you want
have more movement.
make better decisions that can, not right now, no. That can, not right now. I'm busy right now. You gotta go in the house. See ya.
Like, mom, and don't stop. Like, literally.
Yeah, at all. But so yeah, she was like, so I tried that. I definitely was influenced on TikTok, and I got that expensive juicer, and it was been worth every single penny. I got, my whole Adrian, Dakeem, my mom, everybody, my friends, my clients, everyone. I had everybody tasting my juices. I got big on the green juice. I got big on the, the turmeric, ginger, lemon. Like it was like an immune booster type of juice. I got really big on that too. Like, so I still do that. It became very time consuming because people started putting orders in, and it
order it early.
It turned more into what I thought it would have been, which is cool, and I was happy to be able to provide that to people, but it also was like, that's 5 hours on a Sunday gone. So it was like I had to figure that part out. So now I do it like maybe once a month. I hope, like, I want to do it weekly, but I gotta figure out how to scale it down.
It's a commitment, and you're like also prepping for a marathon.
Yes, the running. I got into running this summer, and I feel like out of anything that and Pilates have been a major part of like kind of my everyday. Not as much recently, but I have been I found reformer Pilates this summer. And there's mat Pilates I'll do with Raven, and I really enjoy that as well. So the Pilates has been helpful, and I don't know, I just feel like after doing Pilates, I just feel strong. Like you literally feel how intentional those movements are and what exactly it's working out. It's like, dang, like, all right. But running has, I don't know, something, it just started with like, let me see if I can run a mile. And then it turned into like, let me see if I can do it faster. Then I did it a little bit faster and I was like, maybe I can go further. So it just has been that same thing continuously. Like I had the big goal of like doing a 10K by Thanksgiving. And then I did a 10K in October. And I was like, oh, a half marathon. Yes, I'm signing up. So I signed up for a half marathon and made that my big goal. And then somehow it turned into the full. So now this October, I was chosen to run for Finish MS, which is a 10K that I did with them before, but I was chosen to run for the charity for the Chicago Marathon, which is really, really dope and crazy to think about. Because this time last year, if someone said you're going to run a marathon next year, I'd be like, what? Who? Like that? It wouldn't make sense. But I don't know. I figured out like you don't have to be fast to run. You're still running.
I think that's a common misconception, is that people think that like you have to be an athlete to run, and it's literally just movement.
But and then also when you get out and you go to these races and these runs, you see it. Like there's so many different bodies there's so many different ages. There's so many different types of people at these runs. And it's like, it's for anybody that wants it to be for them. That's like, it genuinely is, which is really cool.
I love that. Okay. So, and also, as far as runners, like when you're running, new shoes, you got to make sure you have the right equipment. For here, we are always like think about like inclusiveness and like we said, for like all bodies. I know that one of the sports bras that I like got was from
She Fit.
No, I didn't. You told me about She Fit.
Yeah.
For if you're holding some extra, I know you said that you like the She Fit sports bra.
Yeah.
I have like a Yitty one that like
I
use whenever. That's kind of snug. And I feel pretty secure with. But sometimes when you're just looking for, that extra support to lock the girls.
If not, you're doubling up. That was my go-to.
Oh my gosh, do not make me. I feel like I totally remember I used to double up so much and it would be a mess. Like 2 sports bras is like
and then taking them off when you're hot and sweaty. Yeah, the struggle.
So speaking of marathons and prepping, I know you're having an event this coming weekend to support your marathon.
Yeah,
in Chicago.
I'm hosting a 5K. I knew it was cold. I knew it was pushing it to ask people to come out and get active, but my birthday is also the 24th, so it was also like my birthday present. Like, it's a cool little celebration of just celebrating, getting the
new. You're doing amazing things. So first of all, I had no idea how obsessed people were with being able to run in the Chicago Marathon. Yeah, and like you
either have to like qualify or maybe get picked for the lottery.
Right. And so it's a really big deal, y'all. Like, to be selected to participate in the Chicago Marathon it's very competitive. And like, I've seen so many denial letters in my like this slow running club thing that I joined, on Facebook.
Told people in like December, like, if you either got picked or not. So like, it was like a big thing, and it was like, dang, I know I like said something, but I could not expect that they would choose me. Like, I voiced how like all of that, but I guess they just were, I don't know. But it was really
selected, and you're doing amazing things, and you'll continue to share your story. And in support of Melissa for her journey to Chicago, she does have a goal of raising how much for MS?
I think it's $2,500, and the link that goes straight to the charity is right in my bio. And that's why I'm doing the 5K. The money, like, I have a fee for the 5K, but all of that money is straight to the charity. Everything else, everything that's going to be there and everything that's a part of it is just coming from me because I want to do it for the charity. So I don't know. I'm just really excited. And Sunday is supposed to snow, but what are some flurries? So I'm still
have a good time.
I plan on having a post-run little hangout session at the Keem's tattoo shop or creative studio, creators mill.
Her husband is a tattoo artist. They are they are a power couple.
And graphic design and all the things.
Artists. Like, yes.
And he has an art show tomorrow as well at Payment
in Smyrna.
Yes. Yep, he's good aesthetic gallery. Shanika, she has curated this event at the Painted Stave in Smyrna, and the King will be there showcasing some of his art as well as other artists too. So that's tomorrow night at 6:30, 6 o'clock. Yep, in Smyrna.
Well, all right. So thank you all so much for joining us for tonight. And having and checking in and hearing our conversation with Melissa. And to find out more about Melissa and support her for her journey, you can follow her on which Instagrams do you want to share? You can go ahead and
I post my running journey on my personal Instagram, which is MKMB, but it's spelled out EMKAYEMBE. And I also post on my nail Instagram, which is theWorks. Nail Works by MKMB. So yeah, and TikTok, but that might be
there'll be sunsetting. Yeah. But we tagged both of the social medias for Melissa on the actual flyer for tonight's community session. So feel free to check there if you're not sure. And also, again, schedule your appointment, support Melissa, schedule your appointments for her, your nails, because I'm telling you, fire, press-ons, all the things, like, she's an amazing artist. I cannot express it more. And human. And also, if you're willing to support her on her mission to raise money for Stop MS, as she participates in the Chicago Marathon, please do. Every little bit counts. If you are able to donate like $5, $3, $1, anything.
Or even just sharing it. Just sharing the post so someone can see it and maybe they can donate to the charity to help just raise funds for this cause. That is needed.
It's definitely needed. And also, I was going to say one more thing. Oh, and come out and hang with you. Where is the 5K? What
right now on Sunday in Camden.
In Camden, Delaware, there will be Melissa's first 5K that she's throwing.
And it won't be the last.
It won't be the last. Okay. And where can people find the flyer for that?
They can everywhere. It's on my Instagram. It's on both Instagrams. It's probably in a local business that they went into if they're in Dover, because I'm putting it everywhere. I want people to come out. I want people to know about it. I've gotten some feedback on this one, so I'm hoping that even if the people don't know about it now, that after this one they know about it and they'll come to the future ones. So
yeah, and it's no expectation to run. You can just come,
run or walk a lap. You don't have to do the 3 miles. It's fun. It's just raising the money for the charity, honestly, at the end of the day. So that's all I want to do.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you all for joining us and participating. And we appreciate you. We'll be back next time talking to another amazing human. So catch you all next